Have you ever sat alone in a quiet room, perhaps in the early morning, when the world hasn't quite woken up, and felt something you can't quite name? It's not sadness. It's not joy. It's something deeper, a feeling like life is whispering to you. But you're not sure how to listen. Aging can feel like that. For many of us over 50, there's a strange shift. The world no longer revolves around our careers or raising children. Our bodies change. People we love move away or pass on. And time feels different now. Slower in some ways. Quicker in others. Like the days blur, but the years leave deeper footprints. And in those quiet moments, in the stillness of early morning or the silence after a full day, we might ask ourselves, who am I now, if I'm no longer who I was? Maybe you've felt invisible in a crowd. Maybe you've downsized your home, or watched your social circle shrink. Maybe you're caregiving for a parent, or even a spouse. Or maybe you're just craving something more. Something real. Something that speaks to your soul, not your resume. This channel, Golden Shield, was born for moments like that. Because the second half of life is not about becoming less. It's about becoming more present, more honest, more spiritually awake. It's about shifting from doing to being. And that's where Ram Dass comes in. Ram Dass, a spiritual teacher who walked away from academic prestige to live a life of service and soul, believed aging wasn't a problem to solve. He saw it as a spiritual practice. A sacred unfolding. An invitation. Not to fix ourselves, but to finally come home to ourselves. So today, we're going to explore how aging can become less about loss. And more about becoming. Not a decline, but a return. Are you ready? Ram Dass wasn't always called Ram Dass. He was born Richard Alpert, a Harvard professor of psychology, working alongside Timothy Leary during the early studies of human consciousness. But in the 1960s, something shifted. Despite all the knowledge and success, Alpert felt empty inside. The achievements didn't answer life's deeper questions, especially about identity, purpose, and what comes after striving. So, he left it all behind and traveled to India, where he met his guru and was given a new name, Ram Dass, meaning servant of God. That's where his journey inward truly began. One of Ram Dass's most beautiful teachings was this: aging is not about youth lost. It's about wholeness gained. He believed that as we age, we're invited to let go of the ego, the part of us that clings to image, titles, productivity, and control. In its place, we find a quieter, deeper self. A self that is not trying to prove anything. A self that is simply present. He spoke often about the idea of becoming nobody, not in a negative sense, but in the most liberating way. As we grow older, he said, we are freed from roles and pressures. We can stop performing and start simply being. To Ram Dass, aging wasn't a mistake or a failure of youth. It was an awakening. A time when we return to the heart. When we begin to see not with ambition, but with wisdom. Not with judgment, but with compassion. He didn't pretend aging was easy. He himself had a stroke in 1997 that left him partially paralyzed. But he used that too as part of his path, saying, I was stroked, and now I'm being stroked by God. That gentle humor, that depth of acceptance, it reminds us, aging isn't something happening to us. It's something happening for us. Ready to see how that unfolds in your real, everyday life? You don't have to be a monk or a spiritual teacher to experience what Ram Dass described. In fact, you may already feel it in the quiet moments of your day. Maybe it's when you sit with a morning cup of tea and realize you're no longer rushing off to impress someone or meet a deadline. Or when a grandchild climbs into your lap and you're not thinking about the next task, you're just there. Being. That's what Ram Dass called being here now. And it's one of the quiet gifts of aging. The ability to slow down and become present to life as it is, not as it used to be, or as you think it should be. But let's be honest. Aging also brings very real challenges. You might feel invisible in a room full of younger people. You may miss the identity you had in your work, your family, or your marriage. Maybe you're caregiving for a spouse who's ill, and wondering, when did my life become so small? Ram Dass would say, even here, especially here, is where the spiritual practice begins. He believed that these moments, the loneliness, the letting go, even the physical pain, are not detours. They are the path. When the mirror reflects new wrinkles. When the phone rings less often. When the world no longer asks for your resume, that's not irrelevance. That's a sacred turning inward. Ram Dass taught that as the outer world grows quieter, the inner world grows louder, if we let it. So maybe you're not who you once were. That's okay. You're becoming who you really are. That's not decline. That's arrival. So how do we live this idea? How do we turn the challenges of aging, the slower pace, the losses, the quiet, into a path of meaning? Ram Dass didn't give complicated instructions. In fact, he believed the answers were already inside us, waiting patiently to be noticed. Here are a few gentle practices inspired by his teachings, small things you can begin today, not to change who you are, but to return to who you've always been. 1. Practice being instead of doing. Set aside 5 minutes each day to do nothing but be. No phone. No TV. No fixing. Just sit, breathe, and notice how your body feels. What your heart wants to say. The sound of the birds. That's meditation in its simplest form, being here now. 2. Create a letting go journal. Ram Dass spoke often about releasing the identities we've clung to. Try writing about something you're ready to release, maybe the role of provider, or the need to always be strong. Let yourself grieve it, honor it, and gently let it go. 3. Love the body you're in. Instead of fighting the changes in your body, try this. Each morning, thank one part of your body for carrying you all these years. Your knees. Your eyes. Your hands. Ram Dass, even after a stroke, found deep gratitude in his failing body, calling it his greatest teacher. 4. Connect from the soul, not the surface. If someone in your life is hard to reach, a spouse, a child, even yourself, try softening your approach. Ask deeper questions. Sit in silence together. Ram Dass believed we connect not through our personalities, but through our presence. These aren't rules. They're invitations. To return, again and again, to what really matters, not what you've done, but who you are, and how fully you're willing to be here for it. Aging isn't a punishment. It's not something to battle or defy. It's a return. A return to essence, to stillness, to presence, to what really matters. As Ram Dass reminded us, we're all just walking each other home. And maybe that's what this season of life is truly for. Not achievement. Not busyness. Not proving anything. But presence. Savoring. Letting go of everything that isn't you, so that what's left is pure, unfiltered, and real. You might be shedding roles, no longer the one who fixes everything, or runs the show, or holds it all together. That can feel like loss. But it's also freedom. Space to rediscover who you are underneath it all. And that version of you, soft, wise, clear, has so much to offer. So as you wake up tomorrow, instead of asking, what should I do today? Maybe ask, how can I just be, with heart, with truth, with gentleness? You're not becoming irrelevant. You're becoming essential. If this message touched something in you, we invite you to subscribe to Golden Shield, where we explore what it means to grow older with purpose, health, and emotional freedom. You're not alone on this path. We're walking it with you. And you're needed, not for what you do, but for who you are.